Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, it's time for another edition of Your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. Subject line FML. And my phone lines are tied up, so you can't call in to share an F My Life. But I do have two panelists joining me this morning. On line one, we got Stephanie. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Dee.
And line two, we got Roger. Good morning, Roger.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, we're going to do our F My Lives together and stuff. So I'm going to read these emails sent to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. You got to let me know whether this person's life is effed or they're just being a big baby about this, okay? Okay.
Okay.
All right, here's our first email sent to me by Denny. Denny said, last week I dislocated my elbow chasing my cat around the hardwood floors of my house in my knee-high socks and wiping out going around the corner. The doctor suggested that I not tell people how it happened. All right, so F My Life, Stephanie, for Denny who dislocated his elbow chasing his cat while playing dress-up.
No, that's a big baby for me. Suck it up, buttercup.
All right. What do you say, Roger?
I agree, big baby.
All right. Well, big baby, Denny, all the way around. Here's our next email sent to me by Jules. Jules said the other day, I found out that the only reason my boyfriend is dating me is because I look like his favorite hentai character. All right. F My Life. What do you say, Roger?
F My Life.
Yeah. Are you into hentai at all?
Well, no.
Okay. What do you say, Stephanie?
Yeah, that's an F My Life. If anybody's with you because you look like somebody else, there's a problem.
I don't know though. I mean, I'm not into hentai, but I imagine the character is probably good looking. So, you know, like if you look like his favorite good looking character, that's a win for
But
everybody.
if that's the only reason that they're with you,
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. All right, we'll agree, disagree, move forward. Because now I'm like, okay. I'm contemplating looking up hentai and seeing how hot these characters look. All right, next email sent to me by Joel. Joel said, I recently found out that my parents took me to a specialist when I was a baby because they thought I had a facial deformity. It turns out I'm just ugly. Ouch. All right, F My Life, Stephanie?
Yeah.
All right, Roger.
Yeah, that's enough My Life for sure.
You're so ugly, your parents think your face is deformed? Yeah, that's a super F My Life. I'm sure Joel has an amazing personality, though. So, all right, two more left. Keely sent me this one. She said one time when I was working at Old Navy, a girl came up to me and did a bizarre dance. Not knowing how to react, I imitated her to be friendly with the customer. Then she stopped cold, and her friend stormed up to me and yelled, "You a-hole. Why are you making fun of her? She has Tourette's, you know." All right, so,
Oh, man.
yeah, so F My Life. We'll start off with Stephanie on this one.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
What do you say, Roger?
Yeah, that's enough My Life.
Yeah, but I smell a new dance trend coming along. Everybody do the Tourette's.
Yeah, buddy, TikTok, here we come.
It's the same thing as twerking, but with your hands. So... All right, final F My Life of the day sent to me by Ben. This one was a doozy. He said, hey, Beef, yesterday my roommate served me with a 2-week notice to vacate the apartment. The day before I leave for 10 days of working in a completely different city, 150 miles away. Brutal. All right, F My Life. What do you say, Roger?
Big baby.
All right.
No. That is a total F My Life. Are you kidding me?
It takes a long time to move. Try to figure that out and do that while you're in another city and pack and all that stuff. I don't know. Yeah,
No, that's a total F my life.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Stephanie. Honestly, we're gonna have to veto Roger on this one because I mean, honestly,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I feel like what Ben's roommate's doing is illegal too. So F my life all the way around, Ben. Good luck to you when you get back. All right, both
Absolutely.
Roger and Stephanie stay on the line. I'm gonna hook you guys up with a $20 gift certificate to Catalina Craft Pizza on Oracle, north of Tangerine, just for being my co-host this morning. I appreciate you.
Yay! Thank
All right, looks like Solo Beef is not necessarily a draw on the old live stream. I'm seeing that right now. So they're like, ask you anything? How about we ask you nothing? Not even watch. I'm like, okay. I'll fix my beard here. Yes, I am rolling solo today, but for good reason. You know, I mean, Weirdo's out sick right now, and I had to do a bunch of busy work, so I just took it as an opportunity. But I did get a message from my buddy Corey, who could have been on, Manny could have been on, and honestly, if I didn't have so much stuff I had to catch up on, I would have took you all up on it, and I will here soon. We won't have another solo day here for the foreseeable future, but I am solo today, and that's fine. I wanted to try things out differently today as we're kind of messing around. And you know, if you have any links or you want to jump in on the stream, you can just put your email in the comments, and I'll send you an email, and you could jump on the stream. Speaking of which, you may have noticed that yesterday's podcast was taken down, and we had our video clip talking about the Jersey Shore going to El Charro. That was taken down as well after that became viral locally. TMZ Tucson shared it. We started getting a lot of traction, comments, followers, reach. It blew up, which is bad news for Gary because he didn't know that El Charro signed an NDA with the production team of Jersey Shore. So he ended up waking up from a nap, getting bombarded with text messages telling him, what did you do? So we accidentally got Chef Gary in some trouble, which I kind of had a feeling when he started talking. I'm like, you know, when I asked him, I'm like, can you talk about this? He's like, yeah, why not? Well, because, you know, spoilers and billion-dollar corporations and whatnot. So I was not surprised to find out after the fact that he wasn't allowed to say any of what he said. And to protect our boy, I just took the whole stream down. It's unfortunate, too, because it was really, you know, it was growing momentum, both obviously on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. I was getting all different types of followers, but even the podcast itself was getting a lot of views. And, you know, it was a solid podcast. We had Gabo from Fayuca on. Played his song, and you know, we had Tony from Catalina Craft Pizza, and of course a 30-minute conversation with Gary. All that was fun. It was, and then Weirdo popped in from her sick bed. You know, it was one of those fun podcasts where it just had a lot of different variety and a lot of people coming on and spilling tea with us, and I had to hide it. Now I will, you know, get it back up, but of course, you know, when it does happen, it'll be irrelevant at this point, and you guys probably won't go back to watch it, but at least it'll be in our catalog. Let me do this. All right, that's Papa Roach featuring Beartooth with Cut the Line of Rock 102.1 KFMA. And I know it's not Tuesday, so I'm not doing a twofer, but I do have new music from Beartooth that I want to follow up with that Papa Roach song with. It's called Might Love Myself. You can join me on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. And hell, you could even join in on the conversation and be one of my virtual co-hosts by just throwing your email address in the comments there, and I'll invite you on the stream. We got more coming up after Beartooth, including the escalation of the OnlyFans teacher who recently went viral. Well, what's the next step? First, you do tasteful nudes. Then eventually you do hardcore porn, but I didn't expect it to escalate as fast and as hardcore as it has. I will give you the rundown on that next. Beef Vegan Presents after Beartooth, Might Love Myself on Rock 102.1 KFMA. So there you go. Good morning, Anthony. Good to see you on the stream. And yeah, it does seem like suspension week. You know what? It was my fault too, because, you know, I asked Rico on Sunday. I was like, hey, dude, you know, Weirdo's out with COVID this week. Can you come in? And he goes, no, Tuesday, Thursday. I was like, oh, okay. Can you think you come in Wednesday? And he just responds, no, Tuesday, Thursday. Just like that. And I was like, are you mad at me? Like, are we beefing? And he's like, no, why? And I'm like, because you're super short. And, you know, this is like one of those things where, like, I get you don't want to wake up. You got some kind of, like, thing going on. I had to catch up with him yesterday, being like, what's going on in your life? You know what I mean? Like, are you dating? You got the side gigs? Like, what's the deal? So yeah, he has a lot of other side hustles going on, and so he couldn't do Wednesday, which I completely understand because this is not his main income, unfortunately. But I should have took the opportunity yesterday to kind of pre-record some of the segments with him while I had him in, because I could do that ahead of time. And then that way I wasn't riding solo all morning. I mean, I had fun. I've done a lot of busy work behind the scenes, kind of preparing for the next couple of weeks and trying to get our KFMA page updated as far as show bio and things like that I've been putting off, honestly. But at the same time, I could have did all that and then not even had to worry about trying to solo some of these segments, and which hopefully weren't terrible, but it's a different dynamic. It's a different energy when it's a one-person solo show. I mean, I appreciate doing the challenge of being a one-man morning show, but in the long term, if that was an everyday thing, it wouldn't work. But the reels and stuff have been working. So it was a bummer that I took down the El Charro Jersey Shore reel, only because it was working so much, because, TMZ Tucson has that kind of younger demographic, and, other people in this cluster in radio, they'll eventually figure it out. But this is what I've been doing, and you guys have probably seen this in real time. But, I have people who will watch our video content because they know us from the radio, right? But the overall goal is to get people to tune into the radio and listen to us on the radio because they know us from our video content. And that's what we've been doing, and we've been doing successfully. So whenever we come up with those little locally viral clips and at TMZ Tucson sharing or Tucson Foodie sharing, I see your comment, Anthony. Then, those are wins. This is, getting people younger to be like, wait a second, I do like video podcasts and stuff. And what I could hear that in my car, to connect the dots and connect with that audience. And that's the overall goal. That's what we've been successfully kind of been pulling together, and every little viral clip kind of helps get towards that. And yesterday was a huge win online, but unfortunately had to kill it just as it was taking off. Good morning, Stitch. Good to see you. All right, let's get on the air. I'm going to share this real quick. I got a couple things I have to share, but you need a visual with this as a reminder. All right, we're getting back on. All right, there you go. Brand new Beartooth on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Now, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, we talked about this former teacher. This has happened so many times, it's hard to kind of keep them all organized in your mind. This teacher that I'm talking about right now, her name is Brianna Kopich, and she became intrigued by the idea of making money through OnlyFans because she was only making $42,000 a year as a teacher. She has her degree. She did well in school. She did what she thought was her dream job, and she quickly found out that she wasn't making enough to live. She was going paycheck to paycheck and vastly growing in debt. So she started doing OnlyFans, and then eventually it got outed. Some perverted parents found out that she had an OnlyFans page, and then they narked her out, and she ended up getting fired from her job. Now, there's a viral post on Unilad that shows a picture of the beautiful Brianna with the headline saying, "Former teacher reveals she makes more in a month on OnlyFans than she did in a year at school." Right now, I was seeing this post everywhere. So we updated it, did a Beef Vegan Presents remix on it, and I'll share with our stream exactly what we did. So we took that same headline and we put it on a more realistic teacher, and you know what? And it still makes it believable, even though the teacher that we put on there, super old and wrinkly, super sweet, seems like, she would still make money on OnlyFans. In fact, I actually had a comment on my page from a profile called Literally Sweating Right Now. And his comment read, "The content is just her saying, 'You look handsome today.'" And that made me literally laugh out loud. And also think to myself, yeah, actually, I would subscribe to that. Just daily affirmations from a sweet old lady. That's sexy content on OnlyFans, right? So you can go to our Facebook page to drop a like on that if you want. But the reason why I bring her up is because the escalation and evolution of women that do go into OnlyFans usually go with the idea of tasteful nudes. That's the definition of it, right? It's to slowly, maybe show a nipple here, a butt cheek there, but do it in kind of a classy, seductive way, but not hardcore porn way. They usually go into OnlyFans stating that they are not going to do only like hardcore porn, but it does escalate quickly. Before you know it, it's full blown, videos of yourself in full blown action. And then you involve a partner. And next thing you know, you have multiple partners. And I'll give you an example because that Brianna Kopich that we just talked about, the teacher who just recently got fired over the summer for having an OnlyFans page, has escalated to the point where it has been announced that she is now the co-star of a new adult film starring porn star Adam 22 and his wife Lena the Plug as they filmed a threesome, right? So legitimately, now Adam 22, that name should sound familiar to you because right now he seems like he is kind of like the John Holmes of the porn industry, the most popular male porn star as far as name value is concerned. And apparently he's married to a woman named Lena the Plug. I didn't know her name, but I am assuming what her specialty is. And yes, so this is what happens to our teachers if you don't pay them correctly. Now, this Brianna, she spent her life achieving the goal of getting a degree from a university so she could go on and teach the children of our country for a brighter future. And our country, in return, said, no, we're not going to pay you enough. And then she's like, fine. Then I'm going to bang this dude and his wife on camera. That's what happened. And you're seeing pictures of it on the podcast broadcast stream. And it is fantastic. So, I mean, I congratulate her. She's a beautiful woman. She's doing what she has to do. But the porn industry was very quick to swoop in on that one. And that, unfortunately, is a running theme in today's education system. So I guess the summary of all this is either pay the teachers more or give us all a stipend so we can subscribe to several profiles on OnlyFans. I think that's only fair. All right, let's hit the reset on the FM side. We'll come back with your single song takeover, but I'm keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/PFegan. Adam 22. How many of you heard Adam 22 on from just from porn in general? I'm inviting you, Todd, by the way. I want to talk Grand Theft Auto 6 because I know that you saw that. That's been the big story today. But yeah, this Brianna, I'll show a couple more pictures of this because I think it's worth showing pictures of this. Now that's Adam and his wife. Oh, how sweet. Face tattoos and all. The dude is one of the most popular and successful male porn stars of this generation. I don't know why. Lena the Plug looks like she's a lovely lady. Oh, this is her before shooting a scene. It looks like a meme, but it's not a meme. This is a legit picture. Oh, there's a video that goes along with it. It's a nice little tease. Yeah, we'll watch it after this commercial. Now I'm interested. I want to see the tease. Good morning, Alex. Good to see you. Good morning, Joe Day. All right, let's see. And if you want to jump in on the stream, again, drop your email address. I'll throw you on there. If you've never been on the stream before, definitely a good time to do that. Come on, commercial. It's a 15-second video. They're showing me a 45-second commercial. All right.
There's a lot here to be excited about. I think this could be very positive for our society and economy. There's a lot here to be excited about. I think this could be very positive for our society and economy.
All right. Well, there you go. That was Adam 22 cucking out his wife. Yeah, and everyone's salary is BS right now, for sure. Good morning, Nick. Good to see you on the stream. But yeah, that's what happened. So our only options, sell blood or do porn. That's what it seems like. But yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I do have other fun videos I want to share with you. You guys probably seen this viral video of Hulk Hogan's promo And when you do it backwards, it looks like, or it sounds like he's possessed by the devil. You know, obviously the cliche is taking a vinyl record and playing it backwards is very creepy, right? Not as creepy as Hulk Hogan's promo backwards. So check this out. This has been blowing up the internet. I gotta stop it right there. I feel like I'm getting possessed as he speaks. So, you know, Hulk Hogan on his own was pretty not evil, but amazing. But that backwards and stuff is the new backwards vinyl record. I have more viral videos. Before I get into all the viral videos and stuff, since I have a moment, I do want to show you some of my edit from this clip. Last week's funny moment was me basically reading back that text to Austin Meade, but I also put a funny video to it, and I definitely want you to check it out if you haven't. If you have, I apologize. But this was essentially adding some visual context to some of the verbal metaphors I was coming up with, and then we'll have Todd Marley on right after that. So check this out.
Did you have a stroke?
Yeah, apparently so. Sometimes I text like this. So yeah. So I didn't even realize what kind of dumbass. This is Saturday at 2 p.m. and what I text him isn't even coherent. Or legible. Oh my God. I just read so many times I instantly regret things I do. This morning, you know, the ESPN door was opening as I was walking by, and I jumped in front and I said boo for whatever reason. And Ali, who co-hosts Spears and Ali, who happens to be like an attorney, just kind of looked at me like, yeah, cool story, bro. And I instantly felt shamed and embarrassed on this. Well, I was telling a story on the podcast how I text Austin Meade, who was an artist who I just uploaded an interview podcast with, following his appearance. And I just read it back verbatim, and I realized that doesn't make sense whatsoever, and I sound like a giant moron.
Because you're like, oh, maybe he just wasn't that appreciative of it, and you just send me back a thumbs up, and then you read it, and it's like, what?
It's beyond a typo.
God.
Yeah. Okay, I'll read it back real quick for you guys on the FM side. This is what I read, and I'll try to, I have no expletives in this text message, but trust me, the amount of expletives that are running through my mind right now, just destroying me. This is what I wrote. Yo, Austin, this is Beef Vegan for KFMA. I wanted to thank you again for rolling through again, and apologies for the double booking. You guys got the good brother, and I believe I'll be doing my part to spread awareness down here, and I cross paths again. Cheers. Stop.
Sorry.
I'm an idiot. This is why I don't know. So obviously, that'll be the last time we hear from Austin Meade. I'm probably blocked immediately after. I might have had a stroke while I was writing this. I need to get a checkup from the neck up immediately. Let's do our single song takeover, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to play Austin Meade's song now. I was gonna play Dead Poet Society, but I gotta play Blackout because I gotta show him that I kind of meant what I said. If you knew what I said. Okay. You feel embarrassed for me?
Oh my God. So much embarrassment.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're now in charge of reaching out to artists from here on out. I'm never going to send a text message again. Jesus effing Christ. Here's Blackout from Austin Meade and Rock 102.1 KFMA.
I really don't mean to laugh so much for your reaction to yourself right now.
I didn't read it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Like, what did I do? What is it? Did I try to text that in 3 seconds or less? Like, what was the rush? It was 2:00 on a Saturday. I was literally doing nothing but thinking. And I couldn't even put those thoughts together in a coherent way to send a text message. Look at you dying. It's could it be nervous attraction? No, I don't want to bang the dude.
Oh my god. Well, it's just so relatable too, because there's so many times that I'm just firing off a quick text. And I'm like, what in the seven hells was this?
I have had this experience. I have noticed this sometimes in dating
Mhm.
and texting, and then having to like literally rewrite text messages because how it comes out, and you can't even blame it on a typo.
Right.
Am I mentally melting down? I don't even know. I thought before I even hit send,
You're like, this looks real good.
yeah, it checks out. Oh, he's gonna love this. He's going to love this. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had a laugh if he tried to repeat it. Hell, he could put it into song lyrics, just read it verbatim and say it's abstract. And say, you define whatever the definition of this song is to you, because it makes no sense. So whatever you take away from it.
Oh God.
I would have been better off sending a D pic. B. Just hit B on that. Marked it. Oh. So crazy.
Oh my God.
It's not even auto text on the phone. I mean, I wish I could say it was auto text, but literally it's illiteracy. I don't understand where. Yeah, good times for sure. So great. Yeah, in real time we're seeing this. All right, let's get back on the air. I was blackout. Let me just verbally shock this guy. Ugh. All right, that was a guy who blocked me on old social media and text messaging. Austin Mead with blackout. Stop. We're back on the air. Stop. If you're gonna,
I'm really trying and I can't.
all right, if you're gonna die. I just can't send text messages. Apparently, it's not my thing. I didn't realize it until just now. This was like a month ago.
Why is this so funny?
I don't know. It was a fail for sure. Was it an F my life? Possibly. I mean, I don't even know to go from there. I mean, that's
Yeah, you've lost me. I gotta go.
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's how I text.
How have you had any success with dating? This is what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't. I'm super single right now. Extremely single. I mean, I've had situations where I start texting with someone where a girl's like, yeah, let me give you my number, to send like one text, and then I never hear from her again. So that's how it is. So yeah, I know.
Oh my God, now I want to review those.
Yeah. I know there's been several situations where it's equally as bad, if not worse. And I don't mean to. I'm just trying to communicate the best I know how. It's so bad. There you go. Yeah, that happened. And I hope you like that edit I put together.
I understand why Weirdo died shortly after that. Yeah, just died and gave up.
What is it? You understand why Weirdo died?
Yeah, right after that, shortly after that, just died. Just died. Stop coming in.
Right. She'll be back on Friday. We're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Time for the single song takeover. We're going to do a throwback, but not necessarily for a throwback. It's still somewhat new music from Motionless in White, who are out doing big things. Of course, we had a 30-minute conversation with Chris Motionless on our podcast broadcast page, youtube.com/PFegan. If you're a massive fan, then you want to check that out. We have more, and Todd Marley's joining me on the stream, so you can join us, youtube.com/PFegan. You're going to keep it right here as I got to talk more Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm geeking out about this. But first, here is the single song takeover. It's my ADD kicking in. Motionless in White, Time Bomb on Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, I'm bad at my job. Well, go ahead and say it, Todd. But yes.
I would never bash somebody that's doing so much with such a disability.
And what's my disability?
You just said it yourself. It's all your ADHD. You can't even remember the last thing you said.
Yeah, I know. I can't even, recall what I wrote out in text while writing the text. And even reading it back, I didn't even say apologies. I said apologize. So everything about that text that I showed on the screen for you was a massive fail. And yes, I have not heard back from Austin Mead since.
No, that's never going to happen.
I'm actually going to put his song in the playlist again without any fanfare. I'm just going to squeeze it in. as a
Play it
gesture.
every day until he texts you back. Nothing crazy about that. Nothing at all.
Oh well, I'm in the position to be able to help him out, maybe.
And anybody's in a position to stand out his window with a boombox.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not.
Are you
lusting
sure you're not on a man crush?
It's not a man crush, even though he has a long flowing hair and a ticklish mustache. All right. Do you see this? Did you the news about Grand Theft Auto 6?
news? I mean, it's a snippet of news, but it's quite the bombshell of that. It confirmed to actually genuinely first time from Rockstar, honest to God, exists.
Yes, from Rockstar's social media page itself.
That's the first part of it, and that we will get our next bit of news in December. That's it, and that's what we know. We get the trailer in December.
What I saw from a screenshot is that people are waiting for the trailer, and it's going to be 2 minutes and 24 seconds long. So it's a long trailer, and they're starting to do the rollout, basically how they did the rollout for for Red Dead Redemption 2. So like this is it. Now, do you recall the rollout from Red Dead Redemption 2? Like how long did it take? I know that was like 6 years ago too.
Yeah, that was a while ago, and in a period of my life where I wasn't interested in the consoles at all. Since it came out on consoles first, I did apply to I got it like the day before it came out because I got an email of somebody saying, "Hey, get it at midnight," and I went, "Oh, I guess I should."
Nice,
and that was the hype. So anything before that, I literally had nothing. Gone.
Right. So, well, let's say this. You would think then if they're going to be dropping the trailer in December,
the early speculation would be it's coming out the next year for holiday sales.
You think an entire year?
Easy. That would be a guess. I would not in the slightest bit be surprised if this is a 2-year window. It wouldn't surprise me if they're like, it's coming out summer 2025. Would not shock me in the slightest. They're Rockstar. They have all of the money. They have no time crunch, and they have to be incredibly afraid of putting out a buggy product. They can put out anything as long as it runs.
Right. Good morning, Sweden. How about this then? Because you've been wrong before. You didn't think the Grand Theft Auto 6 was going to drop, period.
No, I didn't say it wasn't. Everybody knew it was coming. I had told you that any news that you had heard has been maybe the slightest bit of true at best. But most
Rock
of it
2.1 KFMA, that was Time Bomb for Motionless in White. That's Todd Marley. So we're talking about the big news that happened this morning for gamers, where Rockstar announced that a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 is legit.
Real. It's a real game.
Yeah. But now it's speculation as when they're going to release the actual game. And Todd is always like a rain cloud of my excitement and
I'm excited for this game. I don't want to be a rain cloud, but I do want to temper expectations because it might announce that it's coming out. I think the earliest that they possibly announce it's coming out is Christmas next year. The earliest that we hear it's coming out, if they give us anything other than like a year and a season, like fall 2025.
Look, what if they did this, right? If they dropped, I mean, this would be unheard of. But at the same time, when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 6, they don't need much hype to sell 1 billion units in the first week, right? Like as soon as they drop this game, whether it's announced or not, it's going to be massive. It's going to be the biggest selling video game of all times. We know this, right?
Probably.
Right? So is it unheard of to think or believe or want to like hope?
Are you hoping for a shadow drop?
I'm hoping for them to drop the trailer and then at the end of the trailer being like on sale next Friday, Babooski.
0%
and I hope that they say Babooski.
There's less than a 0% chance of Babooski, but even a less chance that they're going to try and shadow drop it like that. If it was that close, there would be so many more leaks. More links.
There was a series of leaks about 6 months ago that actually showed gameplay. And you don't believe those are real?
We won't know if those were anything real until this trailer drops coming up.
I'm going to say that they were real because the way that Rockstar reacted to those leaks, and you can't find those leaks anywhere now. They came down with the steel hammer, and they made sure to shut anyone down who was sharing those videos.
Right. Well, any company's going to do that of their alpha footage, especially if you're a rock star and already have lawyers ready to go with nothing to do but chase these things down. Like, you don't want your alpha footage of it looking poor like that out there in the world.
You know what you do? Like every time I start getting a little wind behind my sails, you just suck it
Take
out.
it right out of here.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
Suck it everything. Take it all. Give it all to me. Yes, I love it. No, that's why I demand that you bring me on every time you talk about video games, because you get it wrong and you bring up people's hopes, and I don't want to do that yet. It's too early.
Look,
Too early, and you're going to hurt a lot of feelings.
No, that's not true. I'm a messenger of positive vibes and energy, and I am putting it out there in the universe that I'm hoping for a shadow drop. This Christmas.
Well, there is way too much money on the table in pre-orders, and basically in pre-sales to let something like that get shadow dropped.
Yeah. All right. We'll see.
How are you supposed to sell the $150 edition with all the bells and whistles if it shadow drops?
No, trust me, people will still buy it, shadow dropped or not. But we'll keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. I still got more, but we got music on the way from the Smashing Pumpkins and Foo Fighters as well. Surprise, surprise. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA.
I have all your wind.
Yeah, stop sucking out my wind, bro.
It's just the truth, though. It's just it's little things like that I gotta keep you honest on these things.
Oh, then fine.
You have fanboy excitement, and I'm excited with you, but we have to temper that with realistic expectations of how much money Rockstar expects to make.
All right. Well, then I'm going to set you up with this lady for be a unicorn in your relationship with your wife. She is fantastic. One comment was that she was a sex ed teacher. Now, of course, she's an AI woman, right? She's not even real. But
that means she can be anything.
Yes, and what a fantastic sex ed teacher she would be. She would be able to teach you things that even Karma Sutra wouldn't know about. It would be fantastic. So that's my own little spin on the OnlyFans thing, as we know. All right, so we shared that. All right, so we got clips and clips for days, and what was this one? The scary movies. Oh, that's a whole podcast. But I didn't get to share the video of Weirdo's confession session from last week, which is really good. And since I have the opportunity to do so, because I need to start crying and wipe away my tears, considering that
Grand Theft Auto 6 exists. Be happy.
Yeah. Well, no.
Take happiness in that. It's not coming out next week. Sorry.
Todd, everybody on Twitter has been like sharing the same meme. They're like so happy that Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out in their lifetime, right? But if it's another couple of years, that's not even guaranteed. And me personally, I need Grand Theft Auto 6 to come out within the next 48 hours because I'm rappelling off that goddamn building for the Girl Scouts, 17 stories. And we're trying to raise money for that too. And it's not looking good on any end of that.
Okay, well, good news, bad news time. It's going to take a little wind again out of chairs. The good news is that they have Grand Theft Auto 6 in heaven. Bad news is the odds of you going there are also pretty slim.
I'm a good person, dude. Oh, you've been talking to my ex, haven't you? All right, so yeah, this is the deal here. I thought it was pretty funny and what they did with the bio to describe what we're doing. Now we only raised $50, and that was from our sales manager, so that's definitely not the best look going out to the Girl Scouts, and we apologize for our lack of fundraising efforts. But this is really like a last minute thing that we agreed to, and still terrifying. And here was what they wrote as far as the bio is concerned, to get people excited about our little attempt and adventure. It says, if you want to see Beefy and possibly pee his pants, Weirdo's mascara run down her face, and Rico pass out from fear, please donate now. Your favorite local morning show will take the plunge. Now, stunting has been around in radio for generations, right? For decades. But this isn't necessarily even stunting. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, we're not doing this for ratings. And the only good takeaway that I have from this, I mean, I'm gonna be terrified, but the only good takeaway from this is like I might get a picture where I'm like smiling and dangling in the sky and survive. And
you'll look adventurous, and in dating profiles, you'll look adventurous.
Exactly. That's the only good takeaway, But yes, Manny, I agree with you. Fundraising is tough across the board right now, all the way through. Just where we're at. And that continues to be a running theme. Let's see. Why does this feel like a micro transition for some cookies? I know. I wish if you donated that you would get cookies in return, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just a donation for the sake of donation. But normally, when people like to donate to the Girl Scouts, they like to get Thin Mints in return.
I get cookies. I get cookies when I donate to the Girl Scouts. It's true.
Absolutely. So to donate for us to be terrified and have our life flash before our eyes.
I get mad. I actually get mad at them when I go out for groceries and then they set up and there's no warning. There's nothing to stop you. They're just there. They exist. And I get pissed off about it because I have to buy them. I have no choice. I have to get Thin Mints and the peanut butter ones. I have to get them. I don't remember the name. Snickerdoodle. I have to get them. And I don't know what they do. And
they're not Snickerdoodles. The peanut butter ones are not Snickerdoodles.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm triggered right now.
They're called Tagalongs.
There you go.
Tagalongs, and they're amazing. All right. Well, last week when Weirdo was in, we did a confession session, and it was fantastic. And if you don't believe me, check this out. Song, Mother, Rock 102.1 KFMA, the entire catalog right there. Mother.
Right. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. It's a classic. A lot of artists be lucky to have one timeless song. And some only have one. All right, we're back here live on Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's time for a confession session with Weirdo, which I truly do love. And it's like we had a confession the other day when we were doing F My Life's on Halloween when a woman called in and said that her son, she came across her son's FetLife profile.
Right.
I actually put that clip on our social media pages to relive it. It was amazing. It was a fantastic F My Life, but it also could work as a confession. Now, if you have something you want to get off your chest, whether it's something embarrassing or a secret that you've been keeping for a long time, free yourself of that burden by letting us know anonymously by emailing weirdo@kfma.com or by calling in, not telling us your name.
Right.
You can even disguise your voice if you want. And with that, tell us what's going on. So let's get right into these emails. This is a confession session with Weirdo. So what's your first confession for us, Weirdo?
All right, let's start off with some family drama. My current daughter-in-law, Anne, hates my future daughter-in-law, Mary. It's because of some stupid things that happened back in high school. I don't know much about it. Anyway, I decided to take both my sons and their partners on a trip. When I called Anne and my son and told them, their reaction was, no way, we're not going on a trip with Mary. I said, I wish they'd come, but at the end, it's their choice and it's okay if they don't want to. They got upset because apparently when they said that they meant they wanted me to uninvite Mary, not them. And she is standing strong saying, I'm not going to, because A, she's an amazing person. I don't care what happened in the past. Also, she's new to the family. So I don't want to, start it off in that kind of way. Am I being maybe a little too harsh?
I mean, it's a lot to follow, to be honest with you. And, it sounds like a family drama that's going to continue to happen. I do a lot of in-laws like each other, especially like, the sister-in-laws, and they're both kind of related on that.
Right. And the fact that they have history together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small town loving. That's Tucson, you think it's a city, but it's really just a small town in various sections.
Right.
It's like if you're in Oro Valley, you're only dating Oro Valley. Marana, same thing.
Right.
Midtown, same thing. And it's very incestuous. So this kind of stuff is bound to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I say this. Don't invite anybody and just go on an amazing trip by yourself.
Yeah. And I say next time you send a confession, don't make it so wordy. I mean, my eyes glossed over. All right. Give me another confession here.
All right. I've gone to the same hairstylist for years. We know many people in common. She's asked me more than once if my granddaughter and her fiance are living together. And she's also asked about my son-in-law's parents' divorce. I feel super vulnerable and really awkward while she's doing this. And I'm considering changing salons to avoid these personal questions. If I speak up, what should I say? I'm not very good at standing up for myself.
Yeah, you're a hairstylist, right? Were you one of those therapist hairstylists?
100%.
Right. It's all about the gossip, right? When you do that stuff. That's why men like going to barbers because we barely talk at all.
Right. And do be aware, if you are in the stylist chair or even a barber's chair, if you are texting anybody, we're reading every word of it. Just to let you know, because we are nosy.
Well, again, that's a hairstylist thing. I don't think it's a barber thing. Because I've been in full-blown sexting conversations before while getting my haircut. And
they had that professional look on their face, right? You wouldn't have known. They totally saw all your texts.
Nah, my boy Will wouldn't read my texts.
Yeah,
he's cool like that. And at Rusticson, when I go get a haircut, yeah, like you have the option just watch TV and say like 3 words during the entire time. You like seriously, sometimes you got to try to be a man because it is easy living. It does seem like, when you're a woman, there's a lot more drama that's constantly surrounding you.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, if I was her, yeah, switch stylist.
Yeah.
And hopefully she won't mess it up. Yeah.
Right.
Or, I mean, here's an idea. Your hair's long, just leave it be, right? Have long hair. Is that...
Are you giving a preference?
No, I'm just, well, okay. Well, she have like a buzz cut she needs every 2 weeks to go in on?
Okay,
No.
got it. Now I'm understanding.
Yeah, I mean, when you had regular clients, right? How regular would you see them? I would think it'd be quarterly, right?
Yeah, every couple months, yeah.
Yeah, every couple months. That makes sense. So, yeah, you have a couple months. She won't even know that you switched stylists until like 6 months later.
And she can be like, where'd that chick go?
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you weren't so nosy, maybe you'd have a longer clientele list. All right, you got any more confessions
I
for
got
us?
one more.
All right.
My wife occasionally mentions that she still gets butterflies when she sees me. I have actually never felt this way about her. Does this make me a sociopath?
It means you settled, essentially.
Yeah.
And maybe because you checked off all the boxes, but you didn't have that necessary spark. But I mean, if you're happy, you're happy, I guess. And very good for her that she still feels butterflies.
Yeah.
My last girlfriend and stuff, she thought she was feeling butterflies, but she was just nauseous and then ended up leaving. So,
it happens.
We are not the same.
No.
All right. I love to end it on sad notes.
Awkward day.
Yeah. All right. So Babuski, let's see. Did you know, I got a couple things I'm going to share with you here. Those silicone packets in food. Do you know you could eat those?
They specifically say do not eat.
They say do not eat, but do you know why they say do not eat?
Because they don't want you to eat them?
Well, it's not because they're poisonous. That's what I just found out. And this went viral recently. A woman showed this off. The reason why they say do not eat is because they're little choking hazards, right? So it's basically telling kids who are too young to read not to eat, even though they could be delicious. Check this out if you don't believe me.
The Poison Center. Have you ever wondered why those silica packets say do not eat, throw away? I'm going to tell you why. Big surprise, but it says do not eat because you're not supposed to eat it. And you're not supposed to eat it because these little tiny beads are inside, and those beads could be considered a choking hazard, especially for little ones. Also, these beads are super tiny and fun to play with, so they're best left in their container because they make a giant mess, and I guarantee you that kids will find a way to stick them in places that they're not supposed to. You'll also find it as the main constituent of rocks, and you'll find it in foods like bananas and even as an additive in beer. So what happens if you eat it? Nothing. For kids, again, it's a choking hazard, and it's really hard to chew and crunch, so I don't recommend doing that. And if you do, hopefully you have a good dentist. Tastes awful.
Don't eat rocks.
Well, that's
Yeah, they're basically like rocks. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're back here live on the air. Manny on the stream was asking if you're okay, Todd, because your mic was still hot during that confession session, and you sounded like you were dying. You were coughing up a lung. You okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
All right, let me ask you this question. It's a serious question, okay? If you were to describe the ultimate bimbo, what would that look like?
Like for me or in general? Like that's a tough question.
In general, I'm talking, what I'm talking is stereotypical bimbo. And I bring it up for a good reason, because there's a model who revealed that she spent $100,000 on surgery to look like the quote unquote ultimate bimbo.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, and what she did to achieve this is, first off, it sounds sadomasochistic. It sounds super painful. And I'll show you pictures here on the podcast broadcast stream, and you can let me know whether you think it was worth the amount of pain and money to do this. But if you were to describe, again, ultimate bimbo, what are some key qualities of an ultimate bimbo that you would look for if you were to design a bimbo?
I mean, if I were to design my a bimbo, you probably just need that 34, 36 oversized chest. I don't know, but a personality that does anything.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, you can't get personality surgery. But yeah, her name
does anything part's probably pretty easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The Sapphire Sane is her name. And she's done an astronomical amount of surgeries, including making her boobs go from an A cup to an H cup. Yeah. And even undergoing a procedure that Marilyn Manson allegedly did. That was to remove 4 of her ribs. 4 of her ribs to look like the ultimate bimbo. Now, I'm going to do a reveal here on the podcast broadcast stream, Todd, and I want your honest opinion. Does she look bimbo enough for that $100,000? Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right,
I'm prepared.
Here's Sapphire right here.
No. It's like stretched out leather.
Well, yes. I mean, she packed a lot. No plastic surgeon recommends going from an A cup to an H cup ever. And actually, I recommend, and I'm no doctor, but I recommend you gaining weight and then losing it before you go and try to make small boobs into big boobs, because you need to stretch the skin naturally. And that's just me coming up with random
That's
theories.
your beef tip.
Not even your beef tip. Look, we'll continue to look at these pictures on the podcast broadcast. We got your beef tip coming up after this.
That's just uncomfortable.
Babuski, yeah, I know. I mean, she has a cute face. Look at this before and after.
Like the first picture that you showed, I was like, what's wrong? There's nothing wrong with her face there. I don't know. Maybe she had a little work done, but then she just ruined the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens with plastic surgery. It's addictive, and that's when you start seeing those changes. Those are H, and I don't know. I mean, she must be into some kind of like OnlyFans style work. Now, this busty model had a nose job, butt implants, a cat eye lift. Cat eyes are, attractive, I guess.
Sure.
And has so much filler and Botox, she admits she has lost count. So at this point, when you look on the right, she literally looks like a plastic sex doll. She doesn't even look like a real human being.
It's not a person. Yeah.
Right. The person on the left, after a couple surgeries, thumbs up. I mean, hell,
It doesn't really even need us. You go out, be fine. You'll have a nice life being an attractive woman. Good luck.
Yeah. Usually it's women who are, or people that already are attractive, but they don't see themselves that way. And you could always spot a woman who is attractive who doesn't think she's attractive by how ugly her boyfriend is. Babuski. So stupid, I know. But I thought those pictures were fascinating, so I wanted to share that with you. I have other videos I want to share with you as well here. Did you know before we? Oh, hold on, someone's calling. ADD Rock 1 2.1. Oh, we have dead air. Okay, thank you.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's why I'm calling.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I shouldn't have had dead air. I'm gonna say it wasn't my fault, but I appreciate the heads up.
Yep. All right, you're welcome.
All right, thanks. Take it easy.
All that content.
The reason why though is because I was staring at hot porn star on the stream, so easily distracted.
ADHD brain back in action. What?
Yeah.
What were we talking about again?
Not Grand Theft Auto 6.
It exists. Be happy. It's confirmed. I can't tell you it doesn't exist anymore.
I'll be more happy once it actually comes out.
That's the right attitude to have, because it's coming. You just got to be patient.
Yeah, I did. I broke the radio with that. Will the beef team ever appear on the Joe Rogan show? Probably not. I did have Joe Rogan. I did have Joe Rogan on my show. Not this current one, but I did interview Joe Rogan back in the day. And I think this was after you, Todd, because Buddha came up with the idea to ask Joe Rogan an F, Marry, Kill, which Joe Rogan was not too happy about. He was like, what are we in 3rd grade? And look over at Buddha. I'm like, that's on you, man. That's on you. So yes, but we did have Joe Rogan on, as well as a lot of other great comedians that are now fixtures of the Joe Rogan podcast and have their own podcasts, like Bert Kreischer and a bunch, to name a few. And I remember when having them on, because I was doing a show out of my house, a radio show out of my house, but they didn't even grasp the concept that we were on the radio. They just thought and figured, because we were recording it and we were going to podcast it, that it was strictly a podcast. So a lot of times after we'd get done doing the interview, and they'd be hanging out afterwards, because these comedians wouldn't leave after we'd have a good conversation with them. It was the same thing every single time. They would show up to my house. It was like, just an average house on the west side. They get kind of freaked out by it because they're like, where the fuck are we at? They would come up, they'd look at their watch, whether they were wearing one or not, and then they'd come up with an excuse like, I only have like 10 minutes. And
I gotta
run, right? And Todd saw this in real life. This happened every single time, mind you.
Chang, Bob Levy. Happened.
Yes.
It happened.
So they all come in, they come in with an excuse as to why they have to leave early, right? And then they would sit down on the couch and we would start having a conversation, and the conversation would go good. And then not only would they stay for the remainder of the show, but then after the show, they'd be hanging out for another like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, to where I'm looking at my watch being like, I gotta go take a nap or something. I got things to do. And I would have to kick them out more times than not. And that was the fun part of it. In fact, actually, I got some throwback pictures I'll show you to back up my stories here. Hold on. Again, that's just my dream woman. I just keep pulling her up. It's going to be under the Beef Vegan Presents page. And I got to go into photos and albums, which are way back.
And then go way to the bottom.
Right. Studio guests here. Here's some studio guests. Faison Love. You know him, Big Worm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Tommy Davidson. That was a good one. Tommy was a good guy. Greg Fitzsimmons. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast. Tom Green. In the living room there. It was awkward in a good way. Fucking Biff from Back to the Future hanging out with us, dude. So Tom Wilson, he was the tallest guest I had at that time. He was fantastic. It gave us some fantastic stories about the Comedy Store back in the day, because Tom Wilson used to live in a guest house behind the Comedy Store with Sam Kinison, Yakov Smirnoff, and there was another wildly famous, it was such an odd combination of people, right? And Tom was kind of like straight edge, but Yakov and Sam Kinison, they'd be doing cocaine with strippers all night long. So he would come home and have to walk over passed out bodies to get to his bedroom consistently. That's one takeaway that I got from that. Joe Coy, who we just recently talked to on the podcast, actually showing his face, right? That was 2010. 2010. There's Bert Kreischer. Excellent. Of course, Bert Kreischer is huge now. Just released a movie. He has Two Bears podcasts. Everything that Bert's doing is massive, and he couldn't have been nicer. He is exactly how you think he is. Three Non-Wands. That's Al Madrigal right there. He's had success on Daily Show. This guy was on Reno 911. Carlos. And this guy hasn't really done much. Yeah. The best part about this story here, is that these two accidentally butt out Al the night before, and they were talking shit about Al. So when they all came into the show, there was a weird energy, and then finally I got them to spit it out, and they spit it out was that basically he overheard them talking shit about him, and they were basically hashing it out live on the air with me that morning. I mean, it was one of those things where I wish we were bigger at the time, because this was just a massive radio moment. It was so much tea. It was great. There's JB Smoove. Recognize him from Curb Your Enthusiasm and everything else. Let's see. There's Monique Marquez, original Latin Queens of Comedy. She's fantastic.
Yeah, more than once. That's why that day was awkward.
Yeah, because Talio's grabbing. There's Shang. You're talking about. There's young Todd and Buddha. Buddha's other producer. So Roddy Piper, legend, smiling. I cherish this photo right here. He was one of the first major celebrities, the biggest celebrity I had at my house, in my mind ever. That was a big deal. There's Bob Levy from Howard Stern show, and young Todd as well.
I had his bait for a long time.
Yeah. Kreischer again. Tom came through a couple times. Is good. Here's the second time jamming out with the Wiley ones. Bob. Yeah, that was me. So there's a stroll down memory lane. So yes, had all these guys in my house. All right, that's all the time we have for the show today. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. We're gonna wrap things up on the podcast broadcast, but I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tomorrow morning, Buddha, Rico, and the rest of the crew is gonna be joining me. I will give away tickets for Green Day. Until then, drive safe, ride safe, rock local. Later. All right, Buddha. Yeah. So, would you guys think
I gotta go. I gotta bail out on you here because the day job is ringing. So.
All right, you do that. I'll look at a couple more pictures. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, what'd you guys think of the pictures that we had here, huh? Yeah, So, as I showed on memory lane, Tom Green was always awesome. The thing with Tom Green is that initially when he came in, he was in a weird place emotionally. Because it's 2010, right? And YouTube's just blowing up. A lot of people are kind of copying what Tom Green did in the 90s, but he wasn't getting any financial money from that. It just wasn't succeeding in that. And he was kind of upset. Just the fact that this whole new generation was popping up, just emulating everything he did, and he wasn't getting the credit that he deserved for it. It took a while for him to find a happy place. Now he sold his home in LA, moved up to Canada. He's got a dog. He's got a nice plot of land. He's growing out his beard. He's still doing some comedy, but you could tell he just kind of stepped away from all the nonsense that was kind of dragging him down. And I'm happy for him, Let's see. Todd with the goatee. Nancy. Oh, these are rattlers. This is how short I look, but these guys are all tall as shit. Let's see. I forgot that guy. Steve Byrne in the building. He's a comedian. This is Sun Ghost. There was a band. I forgot his name, but he was amazing. Sorry I didn't forget his name. And let's see. The girl in the picture here is Shorty. She's one of my mainstay co-hosts that we had. She was fantastic, obviously gorgeous, super quick-witted and funny. And at this point in time, the three of us, during this time, I really felt like had like the best morning show on radio. I mean, we were like seriously firing on all cylinders. And this was obviously when we were, none of us were getting paid whatsoever. But that studio that you're seeing was actually set up for us by my buddy Perry for trendtimes.com. He's the one who paid everything. And Brandy's in the later pictures for sure. Brandy was a trip as well. And see, there's a couple more. While we're going down this rabbit hole, I think more of these. Okay, so all right, so Adam Carolla. This was Adam Carolla, and this was after I opened up for his shows, 6 of them at the Tempe Improv, and bombed when I was told specifically not to try to do stand-up, and I tried to do stand-up 6 different times. Then Adam Carolla went on to talk shit about me on his podcast, which blew up my podcast and made it to where I couldn't even afford it. Let's see. Fat Joe, random. That was my friend Gina. Let's see. Gina was cool. She was a bartender at a bar called the Rogue Bar. Brian Posehn, you remember this guy? Brian Posehn was awesome. He was, always busting out weed and whatnot. And seeing him afterwards was great. Like at the Tempe Improv after the show, we'd go out to the parking lot, smoke a joint together. Brian was really cool, really into metal. I mean, he's one of the most hardcore, legit metalheads that you'll ever come across. Let's see. That was me when I was in the New Times. This is another picture of us in the New Times. That was the owner of the station I was on, Frank. And then me, Buddha, and Shorty. Shang again. This is Bobby Black. He's the editor of High Times Magazine. He put us in High Times Magazine. Dustin Ibarra, who's still a stand-up comedian and does a fantastic job. I need to have Dustin back on the show here soon. We had Dustin on several times. He was always a trip and just kind of like us. Me showing off my 6-pack tattoo when it was still dark and prominent. Yeah. Let's see. That was the KWSS studio. Oh, here's me in High Times. So this was the cover of the High Times magazine that we were featured in, and Bobby Black did a write-up on us and featured a picture, which is massive, right? So we're this little independent 13-watt station in Phoenix with like barely any listeners, and we're getting national press from High Times. You know, it was a big deal. And this is stuff that obviously none of my predecessors or competitors in the market had anywhere near that type of love or mainstream press. It didn't necessarily get us a job or any money out of it, but it was still cool and bragging rights for sure. So that was fun. And this was also featured in the New Times. It's a good shot. This was Carrie Ann slapping my face. I slapped my bitch up was a game that we played. So yeah, so that's just a little stroll down memory lane, what have you. So that's just a little bit. So yeah, our Beefing and Presents page goes deep, goes long. And see, Mecca, I heard you flying solo this morning, but I can't use YouTube chat on my phone. Oh, well, my bad. My bad, Mecca. But yes, that was a rare solo show. Of course, I'd like to thank Todd for jumping on. But, you know, it was good to get this stuff done. Like I said, I just wanted to get some behind the scenes work done as we gear up for the rest of the week. It's going to be a good one. Tomorrow morning, Rico, Mari, and Herb Stratford are all going to be on the show. So that's going to be massive. And of course, Friday, hopefully Weirdo will return because later on that day, we're rappelling off that 17-story building. So thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a good Wednesday. Later.